This one's gonna be weird. And the next few ones are gonna be weird as well. They're gonna be fun, don't get me wrong, it's gonna be fun. But they're gonna be really weird. So Mr. Bungle is a metal band from Eureka, California. Now, there have been a lot of lineup changes for this band over the years, so please forgive me if I get something wrong here. But I think the original members were, or at least the members at the time that this album that I'm talking about now released, were Mike Patton, Trey Spruance, Trevor Dunn, Theo Langiel, Danny Heifetz, and Clinton McKinnon. I definitely pronounced some of those wrong, but yeah, you know, live and let die. The band is named after a character from a children's educational program in the 60s. Some sources that I found say that the program was propaganda, but some of them say it was educational. So it yeah, I don't know. And they all started Mr. Bungle because they all kept getting kicked out of various different bands, probably because they were too weird. So I was kind of hesitant to describe this band as a metal band because, I mean, that's kind of what they are, but also, like, not at all. It's weird. Basically, this self-titled debut album is in a whole lane of its own. It's like if you get thrash metal and, like, circus clown music and you mix them together and you throw in some ska and some jazz and you just coat the whole thing in a layer of, like, funkiness. That's how you get this album. Every single song here twists and turns and changes throughout its runtime. You know, they're always speeding up or slowing down or completely changing or only changing small little things and changing tone and, you know, constant change. It basically is what I'm getting at here. The singer Mike Patton has such a versatile voice, which is great for this band because they really need somebody who can sing, like, in whatever way they need. I remember me and some friends were just sitting around when we found this album and we were so confused on what to think because on one hand, this is the goofiest stuff ever. On the other hand, it's really, really good. The whole album also has samples and interpolations from the David Lynch film Blue Velvet throughout it. I've never actually seen Blue Velvet. Oh, probably should. Seems like it'd be my thing. But I think this is more just a case of the band liked the movie, so they threw stuff in there rather than having any kind of bigger picture meaning. One of the best songs on this album is quote unquote the opener. It starts off with 30 seconds of a guy snoring before, you know, the song actually starts. And I would not rather have this album start any other way because, again, it's just weird. This is the song that I would recommend people listen to see if they would like this album before they continue listening to the rest of the album, which is a great song to have as your opener, in my opinion. This song was originally called Travolta. I'm not sure why it got changed or when it got changed. It was called Travolta. Now it's called quote unquote. So your guess is as good as mine. Another of the best songs on this album is Egg. It can seem a bit intimidating at first, being, I think, 11 minutes or so, but it's really good and you should stick with it the whole way through. The whole thing has this really cheeky tone that I really like. This is a really silly song, but they know it's a silly song and they're just leaning so hard into it. I can promise that you will be entertained by this one, despite its super long runtime. Another one of the best songs and my personal favorite song off of this album is My Ass Is On Fire. It's a thrash metal song, really, but it does have that kind of signature Mr. Bungle goofiness sprinkled in throughout. I really love the end because the whole thing just devolves into unintelligible, like, garbling and screaming and noise. And after such, like, a well-crafted piece of music, I really like it. Now that I think about it, this album reminds me of Captain Beefheart's Trout Mask Replica, which is funny because I think in the Trout Mask Replica review that I did, I said that album reminded me of this album, Mr. Bungle. Both of these albums are just so strange and weird, but at the same time, like, genuinely great music. Anyway, on to the worst songs. So one of them I think is Girls of Corn. You can probably tell by how I'm doing this and how I'm saying corn that that's not the real name of the song, but I'm not sure if I can say the real name of the song because of YouTube being YouTube. Admittedly, honestly, this song is pretty good. It has, you know, the sounds of women enjoying corn and Mike Patton talking about all his favorite kinds of corn. If you're curious what he's into, think of the worst stuff you can and then go even worse. And that's the stuff he's talking about. Like, it's good, I see what they were going for, and it executes on that well. I just don't enjoy listening to it for hopefully obvious reasons. Another of the worst songs I think is Dead Goon. Really badly aged name, Jesus. This song is kind of just like of a lower quality than the others. There's not much I can say about it, really, other than that. It's just, it does the same kind of thing as the other songs here. It's just not as good. Kind of forgettable. So as for the album cover, this is what initially drew me to this album because, I mean, come on, like, look at it. The more I look at this album cover, the more gross stuff I see on it, but I suppose that's kind of the fun of it. Wikipedia says that this is a piece of art that was originally in the story Cotton Candy Autopsy by Dan Sweetman, and that was part of a comic book series called Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children. I found a version of Cotton Candy Autopsy on Internet Archive, but this image was nowhere to be found. There was stuff like it, but not this one. So I could have missed it, or Wikipedia could just be lying, because sometimes it does do that.
I just love her. I have all her CDs and her t-shirts, everything. I just love her. Oh my God!
So overall, even though their future albums were probably better than this one is, this is definitely my personal favorite release from Mr. Bungle. So I think I'm going to give this album 8.8 eggs out of 10. And I'll see you in the next Mr. Bungle review, where everything is even weirder than it was before, which I'm looking forward to. Alright, bye.